As everyone knows, the icebreaker speech is always the one that everybody looks forward to, except for the speaker, because the speaker is usually afraid and jittery and things like that. But the objective is to speak before the audience and discover the speaking skills that you already have that might need some attention. This is a 4 to 6 minute speech, although Michael has said his may run a little longer today because he's got so much to tell us. His personal goals are to complete his first speech and to relay his feelings to the audience. Mike is going to talk about embracing his talents and accepting all possible destinations that are available. Join me in welcoming Mike Morgan with a speech titled, "The Career Track, My Attempts to Derail the Seemingly Unstoppable." Michael Morgan.
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Paula, thank you very much, by the way. I needed to hear all of that. I really did. So, how did I end up on this career track? I could go back and reflect as far back as when I was younger, taking things apart. The desire to get to know how things worked. But how did I become an electrical engineer? How did this end up to be my destination? I could talk about junior high school. Me and my posse of cohorts got together and just devoured numbers. My desire to solve problems, my love for science. I can go through that for days. I could talk about that for years. I could talk about my vocational technical high school, taking on electronics. But did that get me on this train to becoming an electrical engineer? I wouldn't say so. I could talk about going to the military. My MOS there, or job description, was radar technician. But that didn't get me here. If anything, those were just a ticket to get me on the train. The defining moment that brought me here, to this spot, is when I was sitting down in my room, after having come out of the military, staring at a wall. I had got a job working at the Gap. As anybody else, $10 an hour. $10 an hour ain't gonna do nothing in New York City. Certainly can't pay rent $10 an hour. I was in my parents' home, sitting in the room, staring at the wall, thinking about what am I going to do? Pay cash my paycheck, but what is this? Came to the conclusion that if I'm going to make a life, particularly for the woman that I'm with, which is generally what men tend to use as a deciding factor of what they're going to do next, a woman, I need to do something. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to college. I went to Hofstra University, picked up electrical engineering. Told my girlfriend, okay, you know what? Let's put a hold on this relationship. I'm going to go all in. My focus, school. I took on a course load like anybody would take on. 18 credits a semester. First semester, they allowed me to take 18. They wanted me to stay at 12. I took 18. I'm not stopping. Just before my finals, my girlfriend said, we can't do this. I can't do this. So now I'm stuck in a major, taking on electrical engineering for a purpose that no longer exists. But I'm going to do it anyway. So I keep going. 2.5 years into it, I took on 24 credits. I said, I need to get this done. But when you're taking on that many credits, what you don't have is time for family, time for friends, time for socializing, time for a new girlfriend that you just got. You don't have time for issues that may arise, sickness and family. Suffice to say, I was overwhelmed. I was looking at my page, flipping to page, English, math, electronics, physics, and was no longer legible. It was just code. There was no spaces, there was nothing there. It's just code. Ah, code! It's too much. I dropped everything. I have no desire to do this anymore. I quit. Dropped all my classes. I'm not doing this anymore. I told my brother about it. I said, Andy, I can't do this anymore. He's like, what did you do? I dropped all my classes, withdrew from everything. I'm no longer doing this. He said, no, you got to continue. You started, you've got to continue on. That was my first attempt at derailing this engineering thing. And it's like, why? This train is moving. And I can't stop it. I thought I just did. But I said, okay, fine. You're right, brother. I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do it. So I jumped back on the train and I kept on going. I went to City College of New York to continue. I finished the electrical engineering degree. Okay, yes, I got a degree. What am I going to do with it? I really don't have a desire for electrical engineering anymore, now do I? So I'm going to be in the real estate. It's the second time I tried to derail this situation. I went into real estate. I've got my hands into anything. I was a real estate agent. I was a title agent. I was a mortgage broker. I had all these titles. But I went into the market when it went down. And I said, that's fine. If you can set yourself up in business to be prepared for when it comes up, no matter what happens, every single deal that comes across the table, you have a hand in everything. My mother didn't like to see me struggle. She's like, this is not the time for this. My girlfriend at the time didn't like to see me struggle either. She's like, Mike, you got to do something with your life. You can't do this. I said, all right, fine. I'll lean back on the one thing I'm good at, math. Now, mind you, my English sucked. So I can't do anything dealing with English. They'll tell you anything about engineers. English is their worst. But physics, math, numbers, So I went into the New York Stock Exchange, pulling down and bringing up their servers. At the same time, I got into Con Ed Utility Company, working as a designer. I worked there for 5 years. But have you ever been into a job that's just going and going and going, and you have no desire to do it, but you're just doing it because it's a job? That's what it was doing at Con Ed. Yeah, I was doing engineering, but it just didn't seem like me. So I tried to derail this bad boy again. This train is moving. I started a business. The business I started was working with children. And the only thing that I thought I was good at, math. Let's teach these kids math. In Brooklyn, New York, where they're not getting what you feel is proper education and you want to supplement that, let's teach them math. So I opened up a business. A year and a half, my wife now started complaining. You're not spending time with me because I'm working and I have a business, so I'm not home. All right, fine. That attempt to derail, I pushed to the side again. I gotta be home. She had an opportunity out here to work as a physician for in Battle Creek. And I said, okay, you know what, your one salary will take care of us. Let me just come on down this way over here and I'll be a house dad, firstborn. I threw in a feeler as a technician here, Consumers Energy. Came into the interview. That's a story by itself. I brought my child. I will talk to you guys about that at another meeting. Believe me, one thing you don't want to do is bring a child to an interview. But we'll talk about that in another conversation. Interestingly enough, they liked me so much, and they saw my credentials. They said, we want you as our engineer. My eyes lit up. I'm like, really? Okay, fine. I came aboard as their engineer. And surprisingly enough, it rekindled my desire for being an engineer. Gave me a reason for being. So here I am, on this train, going down this track. that I tried to derail 4 times. But oddly enough, I enjoy it. Why stop what you're good at? Why try and change your fate? It's what you do. So all I'm trying to say is, for me, I'm no longer going to try and fight it. I'm going to embrace it. Thank you.